So here are the keys to weight loss and mind therapy in under 9 minutes. First, weight loss. So the first thing you have to do is to choose what not to eat. Everybody should choose not to eat meat. Not only can we survive perfectly fine with not eating it, but eating it causes suffering and death to other sentient creatures. There is not outrage against this because most people are brought into the world with this as a given. So in most it is ingrained. It is something that is not even thought to be questioned. But it's not that hard to sort out. I mean, you wouldn't like it if you were subject to be hunted down randomly and used as food for some superior consciousness. Or worse yet, if mankind were being harvested and breeded for the mere consumption of some superior consciousness. So if you wouldn't like that being done to you, then you shouldn't impose it on other life forms. So if you're capable of making that choice, I would say make that choice. Choose not to eat meat. But I realize that this is going to be something that cannot be even an issue for people. They must eat meat. So we'll move ahead. But if you must eat meat, you can still lose weight. But this next one really can't be an option. When choosing what not to eat, you should choose not to eat any form of junk food. Candy, cake, soda, fast food restaurants. Yeah, I know, it's addicting, right? It's that way by design. So is crack. You gotta give it up. Give it up completely. If you're serious about weight loss, you gotta choose not to eat junk food. So then the next thing you gotta do is to choose what to eat. So if you've cut out meat and junk food, then this basically leaves you with grains, wheats, fruits and vegetables, and meats for those that don't give up meat. Try to eat clean, wholesome food. Go organic if you can. Avoid processed food. And there may be something to be said for eating seasonal, but that's not really a factor when trying to lose weight. So after choosing what to eat and what not to eat, the next thing you have to do is to choose how much you eat. Cutting down portions is a major key and factor in weight loss. Once you can manage to cut down your portions, how much you eat, then you'll be ready for the next thing you have to do, which is choosing not to eat. And of course, I don't mean never again. I just mean for decided periods of time. This is what is known as fasting. Fasting is another key and major factor in weight loss. Once you start to cut down on your portions and to occasionally fast, then you can start to recondition and balance out your metabolism, which will in turn bring your weight under control. Our bodies have become lazy because we have become too spoiled, too catered to, too pampered. Every once in a while, you gotta let your body know, remind it what it's like to be hungry. Now, there are two levels of fasting, each with 3 steps, A, B, and C. The first level of fasting, Part A. 1 day a week, you go on a fruit fast. This means that for 24 hours, you eat only one type of fruit. Once you can do this, you move to step B. For 1 day a week for 24 hours, you drink nothing but water. Only water for 1 whole day. Once you can do that, then you're ready for step C, which is for 1 day a week for 24 hours, you do not eat anything or drink anything. The second level of fasting is the same 3 steps, only this time around you start to increase the time periods. For step A and the second level of fasting, you bump it up to 2 days where you only eat fruit. Then step B, you bump it up to 2 days where you only drink water. So you're finally at the point where you can do step C, bumping up the days where you go without any food or drink. So if you choose not to eat junk, and if you choose only to eat healthy, wholesome food, and you cut down on the portions of what you choose to eat, And if you can master at least the first level of fasting 1 day a week, not eating anything, you will slowly experience weight loss. And to slowly speed up the rate of your weight loss, you add physical fitness, exercise. But it's important not to strain yourself. Going for a long walk will suffice. So now let's move on to therapy, psychiatry, and psychology. In a nutshell, you know the expression, get over yourself? Getting over yourself is pretty much the key. People not being able to get over themselves is the cornerstone for therapy, psychoanalysis, and counseling. If you found yourself in therapy, it is more than likely a 95% chance that it's from discord with other human beings, some kind of conflict or disharmony with the people around you. If you are in conflict or in disharmony with your fellow man or woman, it can only be from maintaining and defending self-importance. If one drops self-importance, one will no longer care to compete with other people. All the little games that we play, being provocative, trying to get attention, getting angry, irritated, moody, indulging in self-pity, being combative, all stems from an overinflated sense of self, which possesses people to be constantly playing the one-up game. And this is mostly what people are concerned with, one-upping their fellow man. It doesn't feel good to get one-upped, but it sure feels good to one-up somebody else, doesn't it? The one that has the last word, that looks good, who's right. The one with the nicer car, the nicer clothing, the nicer girlfriend, the more cash. At its root, it's all a one-up game. It's all keeping up with the Joneses. If you can give up self-importance, then you will no longer seek to play the one-up game. Then you will no longer be in conflict with your fellow man and therefore will no longer need therapy. And I know a lot of you are saying easier said than done, right? Well, it all comes from controlling one's own mind, mastering one's own mind, and this does not come overnight. What it boils down to is resisting impulses. What you have to realize is that the brain gets conditioned to reacting to impulses. Reacting impulsively to triggers over a long period of time can accumulate into what is a mental health issue. And this is why the adverse behavior or emotions manifest. Like a drug addict, the brain seeks to satisfy itself by making connection with these impulses. And this comes in the form of fluctuating serotonin, the release of endorphins on the brain, the adrenaline rush. All these types of things the brain gets addicted to, and this is what possesses people to engage in adverse behavior. The adverse behaviors are psychologically satisfying, which really means that they are physiologically satisfying. Reconditioning our brain and mastering the impulse all comes from taking control of one's own mind. And the way to pull the rug out from under the whole operation is within dropping the ego. If we drop the ego, we no longer seek to play the games, which ultimately end up gratifying the brain. Defying the brain to gratify on impulse is the process of reconditioning it. In this way, you can even bring into balance people who are bipolar, manic depressive. After all, it is only the brain's conditioning that twists people up. Dropping one's ego facilitates harmony with fellow man. And harmony is ultimately brains that are content to exist without being stimulated constantly. A controlled mind lends to a disciplined brain, which in turn lends to balanced form. How to drop the ego. An important tool, an important key is to always remember the transience, the impermanence of things. This is a very important factor in dropping the ego. Never forget your death. Your death is what unites you with all that is alive and makes you equal with anything that is organic. After all, no matter how smart you are, how physically fit you are, no matter your accumulations, your accomplishments, your conquests, or your legacy, you, like everything else, will one day have to die, and that makes you no better or less than anything else that is mortal. You are equal to an amoeba, an insect, an animal, your fellow man. Always remember this, and you will slowly be able to let go of the over-encumbering ego.